to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here from the DisKingdom podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking all about the brand new Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs event in Disney Magic Kingdom's mobile game. Brand new event kicked off about sort of 4 or 5 days ago. As of literally 5 minutes ago, I'm trying to do the last couple of missions before I think we get to it. I think Bashful is the next one being announced as of today. I've already got I've got Happy and I've got Sneezy.
Doc.
Well,
Doc
yeah,
and
Doc
Sneezy.
Doc and Sneezy. I've also purchased Dopey, and I've also got the float. So I bought a couple of the packs, and generally as a whole, to be honest, there's kind of the grumpy issue is something I'm going to go into in a bit. But first off, the events, pretty much standard affair where we've got lots of different characters. I mean, we've got, 4 of the dwarfs. 2 of them are going to be premium, and 1 of them's grumpy. And then
to clarify, I mean, 4 of the dwarves are free.
Yeah.
And then two on top of them are premium.
I think Happy becomes available today to purchase as a premium character, and then I think there's also going to be Snow White and also the Evil Queen. So there's actually quite a lot of characters. This is like a 9-character event running for, I think it was just short of a month. We've still got 20 odd days left. It looks like in some respects that the Queen is going to be available nearly a week before the end of it, so maybe they've listened to some of the feedback of not giving enough length at the end, because I know I got really annoyed with the last event where things just were not dropping in that last one, and I didn't get the Queen because I was refusing to spend any money or anything on gems because it was becoming painfully clear, a bit like the Bagheera drops at the precise spin-it for me, where they just do not happen. So currently, got to do the whole thing where we're going to go catch the tree. It's that same thing as well. This event is very, very similar. It is identical, but at the same time, I think they've been making some tweaks and stuff. So far, so good on that front. I'm kind of quite happy with how it's going. Things seem to be quite short missions to begin with. Lots of hour ones, 2-hour ones. I just built the magic mirror last night, so that's all been built in. And again, that same issue that we had last time, where the little items you need to get the small trees, there's not a lot of characters that you can get to kind of get the little apples, which is going to become, I think, slightly more irritating as it goes on. Which seems shame because Goofy got kicked out, and a few of and Woody and I think and Jesse. Normally they kind of keep a few of the characters, the long-term ones, in there to kind of help you. But I think they've got so many dwarfs to use that they've kind of removed all of them.
Yeah, except I don't think they're even using all of the dwarfs. I only think 4 of them are usable, maybe 5. And yeah, Dopey is one of them. Dopey is one of the premiums, but then the others I think are just regular ones. But it's not even the full group of them. It's just this group and then Mickey. And so it's kind of an odd selection. And I mean, we've talked about this mechanic plenty of times. This was the Snow Glees during the Frozen event, and it's been every event since. And just this is needless, busy work for nonsense. But
it's that kind of normal event. It's kind of what the game has become. I don't really feel like there's. I don't really have a problem with this. It's just this is the standard affair. We've seen it before. I'm getting used to it. I like at the beginning of the event where everything feels quite fast paced. We feel like you're getting the characters, things are moving along, the buildings are coming in. There's always what I like to call the honeymoon period of the event, where everything seems to run very nicely. Everyone's keeping up with each other. There feels like there's enough time to go, and the new characters. And if you fall a day or so behind, it doesn't matter because you can catch up. You've got different characters, and so that's been going quite well. Have you been jumping back in and doing this as well?
Occasionally. I have the first 2 dwarves.
Yeah.
I can't remember which ones. I think it's Doc and Sneezy.
Yeah.
I did not pay out for Dopey. I knew going into this event that I would not be spending any money. In fact, actually, if people remember from our last review, I wasn't even sure if I was going to do the event at all. But one of the things that they added in this last patch, which is worth mentioning, is the ability to send your characters off I forget what the term is, but you send them away. Yeah, you send them home, and that takes them off your mission board. You don't have to send them on assignments, which is very helpful. I have literally 43 characters sent home, which is more than half of my cast, which has helped tremendously. There's still problems with it. They need to tweak some things. They need to make it a little easier to pull people out and put people in.
I also think they need to up the magic as well, because it's not a lot when you put in, for example, if you were sending them all on 12-hour missions, you'd be getting a lot more magic than you would be doing it this way. I do think they need to tweak that up a little bit, or maybe change it depending on your... But to be honest, until they get to level 10, there's not really a lot of point in putting them in there.
No, because you're going to have to keep upgrading them. And then even characters who are level 10, you might need to hold on to them to get tokens for the guys who you're still leveling up. Like I said, it needs tweaks, but they put it in, which is important, because this has been my number one complaint about this game for 4 events now, maybe more. So it's a start. It was enough to get me to be, all right, I'll try out the event. But like you said, it's a carbon copy of everything we've had before, except it's longer, and there are 9 characters to recruit instead of the normal 7. That's obvious because they want all 7 of the dwarves. You got some new buildings, and I guess there's going to be an increased park area space at some point in this event. We'll see how much there. But, nothing too great. It hasn't captured my imagination that much, but, Snow White, I think, is at least a bigger property than Alice in Wonderland is, so I think more people are going to be interested in doing that. But, of course, there is that elephant in the room of their new monetization scheme, and this is Grumpy. Do you want to tell us how Grumpy works?
I'll just do the... I'm just going to quickly patch back to that home thing. I did use it first before the event. I threw loads of characters in there to see how it worked. When the event kicked in, I then pulled everybody out, worked out who was working with the event, because, for example, the Beauty and the Beast characters some of them were working in the event. Was it one of the Mulan characters is helping with the event as well? So
I think so.
So that's good. But there's it's good for example, to be able to put all the Frozen characters away, put all the Incredibles out the way. I don't know if when the event's over, I might bring them back out just to boost up my magic, because I think I'm going to need more magic for unlocking land and some upgrading the Jungle Book characters, which I'm still. It feels like I've been doing that for months. They're just not moving at all, and the Bagheera account just doesn't move. But I'm leveling up. I've still got a lot of the Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, and also the Alice in Wonderland characters to level up. I've actually got 15 of them at the minute, all set on 16 and 24-hour event load ups. So I don't want to do any of them while the event's going on. Right. So they're all just stacking up. So it's good. I'm glad I've been able to just put a few of them out to the side. It's helping me with the event to just narrow down on that a little bit, which I think is a good thing. So I'm pleased with it. There needs to be a few tweaks. It would be nice it's a little bit complicated putting them in and out. I think they need to put a little button on the actual screen of the character where you can because at the minute you've got to kind of go in. So there's some tweaks. Well, I think they need to add some more magic, etc.
They also need to make it easier to pull them out, because right now you can still have characters like Elsa, where the people will wander around the park and be like, I want to meet Elsa. Yeah. Well, Elsa went home, so sorry. Yeah. If I click on the little bubble that pops up and be like, I want to see Elsa, it should just be like, oh, do you want to bring Elsa back into the park, rather than, okay, go click on Elsa, go click on the return button, and then... Yeah. And then so I think it needs some tweaks.
Yeah, it needs some tweaks, but I still think this was very much a reaction to some of the I feel like it was very much a reaction to some of the complaints coming in about. I don't think it was I don't think it had been this feels like something that they designed after feedback, because it wasn't something they'd been planning on.
No, and we were hardly the only people saying this. If you went to the Reddit, if you went to the various fan sites, they were all just like, give us character management. Right. So they did listen. Yeah.
Speaking of the Reddit and the Facebook groups and stuff, there has been a major conflict and backlash going on at the minute because of Grumpy. Because to Grumpy, they've tried something new. So I'm going to give him some credit for this. So they're trying something new. If you've got to unlock Grumpy, you've got to get like 60 owls and 60 heads and a load of currency. The only way of getting those currency is through. You've got magical quest chests, which are 15 gems each, and also Dopey can do some items as well. And I think some of the later characters from things will do.
I think the other premium dwarf can, and then the evil queen can, which is probably why you mentioned earlier the evil queen will probably show up well before we actually run out of time.
Yeah, so I'm hoping in some ways that Grumpy now might become the character that everyone's... Now, there's been a massive flood of people really kind of doing the maths, because some people have been spending close to 700 to 1,000 gems unlocking Grumpy already. And obviously there's a lot of people that jump in and do this, and they want every single character, they love playing the game, they just will play, and they don't like... And we've seen it before with Disney games, and I literally said it on my post yesterday, was Disney games get put on a pedestal that it's Disney, therefore you're not allowed to complain. There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people as well that go so negative on Disney that everything they do is rubbish and massive corporation. I like to sit in the middle. I like to sit on that fence because I think constructive criticism is important. We don't want to just be letting them get away with anything. So this, to me, at this precise minute, I have got like 3 owls on an opening thing on the advent calendar. I did buy one chest for 15 gems to see how it worked. That was literally, and so then that is it. And I'm like, I've been playing this for 5 days. I'm getting no other options of doing it. I cannot send Dopey on a 12-hour mission because I need him to give me other tokens to our, if I'm sitting there in the evening and I've got like 5 hours, I can send him away 5 to 6 times in an evening to get those little tokens. I can't send them away for 12 hours. That's just ridiculous. And there's been a real bad reaction of some people like really, really getting quite grumpy and aggravated about it. And I mean, personally as well, it's a bit like, well, we're only on like the first few days. It's events going on for like 20, but because Grumpy helps with everything else and has a boost in currency and all the rest of it, he's giving some people an advantage. Now, if you want to spend that many gems on it, the first off, you have to be buying gems. I can't believe you're going to be farming for gems to get that amount unless you put some money in.
Well, I don't know how you would farm. I mean, you'll get a couple of gems for leveling people up. You'll get a couple of gems for completing character collections, etc. You'll get the 2 daily gems for doing the ads. But over the course of a 22, 25-day event, you're still only going to pick up like max 45 gems, which is only 3 chests. You're not unlocking, unless you get like the 0.01% chance of just unlocking him straight up. You're not getting him that way. Yeah. You have to buy the gems.
Yeah, and it's also like for me with the gems, I'm still trying to unlock those buildings. I've still got like 2 more buildings to unlock with gems to go yet before that's all done. So it's like, where do you use them? What do you do with them? But yeah, the Grumpy situation has been quite negative. I've seen lots of negative feedback. I've seen lots of people complaining. And then I've seen other people going, look, everyone stop complaining. You can't, this shouldn't be like this. If you don't like the game, don't play it kind of thing, and you shouldn't expect everything for free. And it's like, there's this line of it's going, no, this feels, if you aren't paying the gems for this, for me at this precise minute, he's feeling completely unattainable. And it's like, no, I've spent £6 on this event already. So it's not like I'm sitting here going, I'm not willing to pay them any money. So, but if people use their gems to get Dopey, then you got this other option, and obviously Grumpy's probably the most popular of the dwarfs, and this thing needs some serious tweaks. I mean, they said about, you'll be able to get him. Well, if you're trying to get him for free in game, I don't know if this is actually. I mean, some of the magical quests you can unlock him for free, but I've not seen anyone saying they've done that. I think, to be honest, I would recommend, if you are going to buy gems for him, wait till the last week, wait till the last couple of days and see how much you can get before that. But obviously, well, he helps with it. It just feels like this again. I mean, I've seen like Greedloft. That's been a term thrown around. There's been this. It seems like this is really kind of they did something different. but they've also managed to alienate and split the audience really rapidly in the middle.
Yeah, and this is in many ways an attempt by them to introduce loot box characters without it being a straight loot box. You can be, oh, you can get him out of the loot box, you can get him the pieces out of the loot box, but look, you can still get him with Dopey and I don't know which the other dwarf premium, and the Evil Queen. It's not truly loot box because you have this opportunity to send them on 12-hour quests. You're like, yeah, that math doesn't add up, especially since the one that you need more of, I don't remember if it's the owl or the other one, you actually have less time to get because you can't start getting that until you get the second premium character. And you need like 60 of that at 12 hours a pop. Assuming you get a drop every single time, that's still 30 days, which is longer than
the event.
So, yeah, this is kind of a backdoor. We're going to introduce loot box characters into the game, and as players, as a community of players, you've got to say right now we are either okay with this segmenting the base, or we're not okay with this. In which case, stop watching the ads, stop buying gems. Whatever you feel is necessary to get the message across. Because anyone who's sent a message to their support group has basically said, nope, this is exactly working as intended.
Yeah.
So complaining, unless you complain even higher up the chain, if you go to Disney directly, but they're probably only going to do something if a massive amount of people complain, like they did with Battlefront 2. They would have left that alone if that backlash hadn't been nearly as high as it was.
And coming up, actually, later in this week, we're going to be doing an episode where there's actually, this is not the only game this is kind of happening to at the minute. So there's going to be a whole thing that we're going to be talking about later on this week about the way that these games are being run. And unfortunately, Grumpy is leaving a little bit of bad taste. Personally, for me, I'm just getting to that point now where if I don't get everything in the game, that's fine with me. There's enough characters that I don't need it. I don't mind buying. I think it's like Dopey. It was like $3.99. It was like, and I got a building. And my initial thought was, oh, it's pretty cheap. I actually just thought, free, because I view that as like buying a coffee, and you need to think of it like it's a digestible purchase. It's not a lifetime guarantee. This game could be closed down in 6 weeks' time. I'm not saying it will do, but it could do.
Good.
And
we've seen it happen that fast.
You shouldn't go in there thinking this is a lifelong, item that you can pass down to your kids. It's consumable products and if you're getting that grumpy about Grumpy, don't buy into it. Don't buy the chests, because if you stop buying the chests and don't bother with him, then that will send the message through the data that you're not going to... If you then buy everything on there, it won't send the message that it's not... they will see that going, okay, the mass number of people have not got him. They will see that in their data. They will see how many chests are being purchased. 15 chests, 15 gems might not sound a lot, but when you need 120 items, that's a lot of chests.
That is a lot of chests, and
it
is worth
a lot. I mean, was it 500 gems is like £100 or something like that?
I don't even remember. I don't want to look at the numbers because they make me sad. But it's also worth remembering that it does not take that many whales to make these events profitable for companies like this. So players like you and I who might even be on the edge of being like a dolphin, because I'm like you prior to this. Hey Flipper. Prior to this, for events, I've picked up the premium characters, and like you, I view them as a disposable purchase. I'm not necessarily buying Chip or Mrs. Potts. What I'm doing is I'm making this event more relaxed for me, so I don't have to check every 20 seconds, and I can still get into the event as far as I want. What they're doing now is changing this. If you want everything, you have to go whale.
Yeah.
You have to. It might be achievable as a dolphin if you get just the 2 premium characters, but the vast majority of characters who play in that, I'm going to pick up the premium characters, maybe I'll pick up the float, are not going to get Grumpy. And this is the transition of the game from dolphin friendly to whale centric.
Yeah, I mean, looking here at, I've got the app up here. 3,000 gems is 50% off. It's £100, right? So on that basics, if you brought that one there, if you have to spend 1,000 gems to get Grumpy, he's costing you £33. Now if you just brought 1,000, it's 48 off 1,300. It's 48 quid. It's like, go buy Lego Marvel Superheroes or Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or something. Don't spend 50 quid on a character in this game. It's like, I'm just going to be honest, you can get so much more value from something else than, and I'm going to put that in it. You know, I start seeing 30, 40 quid for a character. I mean, you know, I see Jack Sparrow coming up at $9.99, and if Happy is $7.99, like I think we were one of the, it's like, I'm not buying him. I just won't get him. It's like, it needs to be a cup of coffee price for these purchases for me. And yeah, this Grumpy is going to be something that, I mean, when the event's over, we'll come back and do a full review of it. But as of right now, this is the one issue which could wreck a massive portion of this game.
Absolutely. This could be the tipping point for many people. I mean, especially when you add on to this that people have already been feeling apathetic towards the game ever since, I don't know, maybe the Aladdin event.
Yeah.
You know, the events are coming much more frequently, and people are definitely hitting that burnout point. And even for myself, just turning on the title, I'm just kind of like, you know what, it can wait until I get home before I try that, before I do this. I'm not going to look at this during my lunch break, etc.
I'm also feeling as well that these too many main characters are being in the events, and if you're new, you're not getting just too many characters locked away. It's like Snow White. They could have done this and they should have just put it in and removed the event item of it and just make it a story mode, but keep that speed so there's a excitement about it. Remove the last bit. Keep all the characters going, and just let Grumpy could have been left as if Grumpy was left like this and he was completely unlockable for the rest of the year of completely just this system might have worked better. This system might work as a long term, and it goes, oh, he's going to take me 3 months to get, but I can still get him. You know, yeah. that might have worked, and maybe just remove that. You know, I don't know, but we're gonna leave it there on that one because this one just could go on and on and on.
And we'll be coming back to it later in the week anyway.
Yes. So on that note, let us know in the comments below, how are you thinking it? Are you enjoying the event? And what do you think about the Grumpy situation? I'd love to know your thoughts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can hit that subscribe button, give us a like button there. That'd be really great. And if you're listening to us on the audio platforms as well, you can subscribe and you can leave a review there. So as per usual, check us out over at DisKingdom.com. James, where can they find you?
I'm at HeroicLegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back soon. Laters.
Later.